In this tutorial, we will focus on the drawing options available in CSET. We'll start by looking at the diagram symbols window. Three groupings of symbols are available for placement on the diagram. The Shapes group includes various shapes that are dependent on the actual content of the diagram. These objects are used to enhance the appearance of the physical image, but are not used in analysis or questions. You can place an object by dragging it onto the diagram window. Each object has certain properties. Shapes have labels, colors, and layers. These can be added or modified in the Diagram Properties window. The Symbols palettes can be hidden or displayed by using the List button at the top. We will open and close the accordion to see the shape palettes. The ICS components are designed for use within the tool. They have specific properties that are used in the basic network analysis, the weighting of answers, and the way the security assurance levels affect specific questions. Let's select the firewall component as an example. We will drag it onto the window and then look at the diagram properties for this object. The tag field is the label used in the diagram and in the questions. This should be the common name of the component. Notice that when we change it, the host name changes as well. The host name is only used for internal reference. It is not used anywhere in the assessment. This field is used to identify assigned identifiers that may be stored in a company equipment list but are not familiar to operators. If you mark the Has Unique Questions checkbox, you are telling the system that this component is configured differently than other components of the same type. As a result, all questions must be answered for this device instead of just applying default answers. The SAL field shows the assurance level associated with the zone where the component resides. It cannot be changed. The criticality field allows you to adjust the relative importance of a component. Everything else being equal, a component with a higher criticality will be given greater weighting and will show in reports and analysis as needing to be addressed before one with a lower criticality value. We can change a component layer using the Layer field. In this example, the layer Area 51 was created using the Manage Layers function. The IP address field is only for your reference. It is not used in the system, but is available to help you track components. The Asset Type field shows what type of component this is, and the Subnet Names field shows any subnets linked with the component. Neither field can be changed and are included for reference purposes only. The Clear Component Question Overrides button removes the unique questions that were created when the Has Unique Questions checkbox was clicked, or when defaults have been overridden in the question screen. This button will remove component-specific questions from the question screen and will uncheck the Has Unique Questions checkbox in this window. To learn more, review the Question Information tutorial. To round out our diagram, we will add several more components. Now let's add a connecting line. Use the Connector Diagram tool. To draw connecting lines, you must first click inside the gray frame surrounding the component and then with the mouse button held down, move the arrow to the center of the end component. When a small red indicator lights up, release the mouse button to complete the line. Properties for a line include the label, which identifies the line segment. Line labels are not often used but are available when needed. The subset name is used to associate a subnet to the line segment. You can select an existing subnet name or begin typing to create a new one. We will create a new one called Subnet A. The security field allows you to set some line segments as untrusted. This may be used in a situation where communication is over a public carrier, for example. The line decorators allow you to put arrows, diamonds, or circles at the end of a line. You can change the weight or thickness of a line by entering a number in the line thickness field. The color field allows you to override the line color if you wish. Because we want to show this as untrusted, we will leave the color unchanged. Now let's go back and look at the line type field. The line type field allows you to choose a straight line, known as a polyline or a spline. A spline gives you the option of creating arcs and wavy lines. The polyline is the default. We will first add a new line. As you can see, the placement of the line is a little awkward. Let's reroute it. First, we select the line. Then we add nodes by holding down the Control key and clicking on the line. Next, we simply drag the nodes to a new location. This is the polyline type. To see the effect of the spline line type, select the line, then at the Properties window, select Spline. You can easily go back to the polyline type by selecting it again. To remove the line, ensure it is selected, then click the Delete button under the diagram menu. You can also use the keyboard Delete button. For demonstration purposes, we will connect the other components with straight lines. Notice that when there are multiple lines coming together at the same point, as in the case with the router, it is easier to start from that component rather than end there. This is because the tool might try to connect the end of one of the lines rather than the component itself. Now that we know how to add components and lines, let's take a moment to talk about zones. From a drawing perspective, a zone is simply a rectangle surrounding components. What makes it unique is its placement and properties. To draw a zone, simply click on the zone icon in the zone pane, and then drag the shape onto the drawing area. Add the components. Resize the zone as needed by dragging the corners. You will notice the Diagram Properties window that is displayed. We will look at these options next. After creating the zone, we need to enter properties. You can change the type based on the predefined list. This will also change the default Security Assurance Level, or SAL, and the background color. In the Diagram Properties window, we will select the type by choosing Control System in the list box. We now type in Area 51 in the tag field to identify or label the zone. The tag name and SAL are shown on the zone. The SAL field allows you to adjust the level for the zone based on the criticality of the components and operations within the zone boundary. The higher the SAL, the more rigor is required. The Layer field is used to change the layer of the zone. We can use this for other objects as well. We will assign this zone to the Area 51 layer that we defined at an earlier time. When a component is enclosed within a zone, it inherits the SAL for that zone. To demonstrate, we'll click on the router within the zone and observe that it has a high SAL. We then can click on the switch that is outside the zone and observe that it has inherited the overall SAL of moderate for the system. You can create zones within zones. It is best to create each zone first, then add the components. In this example, we will create a corporate zone with a low SAL. We add the switch, which inherits the level from the zone. We then move the zone to within the Area 51 zone and add another component. Now, both components within the corporate zone have a SAL level of low. We will also turn on network analysis to immediately see changes. Lastly, we will add text to the diagram. This is done using the text tool under the diagram menu. Simply click the tool, draw the text box, and add your text. To edit the text, return to the Selector tool, double-click on the text, and type. Use the Format menu to change the look of the text. This concludes the tutorial on drawing options in the diagram window. See the other diagram tutorials for more detailed information on other diagram functions.